the day we are together again. On the day we are together again.
What's up, brother?
Hey,
good seeing you, man.
I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again, we will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we share the same table.
It's good so far, man. It's a nice day.
Around the block hand in hand. We will walk block hand in hand. We will stop for a snack at the taco truck stand. When we walk around the block hand in hand. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among
You're killing it.
who respect our work. Someday we will go back to work. I will write you a letter for now. I will write you a letter for now. Hope is a message that survives.
Rylan was in fourth, kind of out that first loop in the woods. And he passed Manuel. Now he's passed Brendan. Crushing.
I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get back on our feet.
let's time Rylan. Rylan is real close. Going for the backwards technique. More
I
biceps.
don't know what happened here, but Rylan's made up maybe 2 minutes from the first 20 minutes of this race. We thought it was
He's
a blowout.
closing, honestly. Yeah.
This is not a blowout.
You have a watch on this?
I do. We're at 20 seconds ish, 25. And look at that rain
You
down
just saw
on him.
all his precipitation. You know he's... I'm really nervous for him right here. Oh, no.
We've seen it in the past. Oh, nice job.
There you go. Oh,
Good job,
that
Rylan.
was fantastic. But
It's about
as
44
close as you can
seconds
get. Okay.
in a spectacular dismount.
You are gone, and on the day we are together again. On the day we are together again, I will pull you in close. We are together again.
Hard to introduce the show, of course, but welcome everyone to the OCR Reports coverage of the 2025 Pan Am Championship. I'm Tyler Mosession here with Miles Keller, and of course, Miles, as we know, as many of the OCR family knows, a beautiful tribute for Rylan Shadegg, who unfortunately lost his life September 7th, 2025, in a mountain accident. Just an overall great guy, a great racer, and a better guy. Miles, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, he was extremely humble, man. To be even outside of Spartan out of OCR, he was like an elite 15 in high rocks. You know, we're a relatively small sport, but high rocks has become even larger. There's a lot of people. He was known. He did a lot of different sports, and some of those people can kind of let their accomplishments get to their head, and that was never him. He was very approachable, very humble, big man of faith. Just a really sweet guy. I had the pleasure of meeting him at the World Championship, the Trifecta World Championships in Greece year before last. And that was very fitting coverage. That was actually footage from last year's Pan American Championships, where it looks like
Yeah, he was third that day. And again, a guy who's he's been an Elite 15 qualifier, really probably the only guy right now who could contest for a hybrid podium in the World Championship as well as an OCR podium. So, but then again, not his race accomplishments speak for itself. However, he's really just a great guy, and we definitely are praying for the Shadegg family and all of his friends during this tough time.
Yeah, he touched a lot of people's hearts, and all of our hearts go out, and it's nothing less than tragic. And he will be missed, and it's been felt through the entirety of obstacle course racing. So
yeah,
I'm glad we had that beautiful tribute. Thanks to Jason, our producer, for putting together that wonderful tribute. Well, awesome.
Absolutely. Yep. So really no easy transition, but we are here to cover the 2025 race of the Pan American Championship, the Seattle Beast. So essentially, these competitors here, they may be top contenders from the Mexican Series, the Canadian Series, and the U.S. National Series. What is interesting is, at least for sure, I know Miles and I have been doing a lot of coverage for U.S. and Canada. They've been all sprints. However, this time it's going to be a beast. So for those of you who are new to Spartan vernacular, the sprint is about a 5K. The beast is up to a half marathon or longer. So this will be a much longer race than you might be used to if you were following the coverage for the sprints. However, if you were with us last week in West Virginia, we just watched a 13-mile beast. So we'll be having another one on deck for you today.
Yeah, it's so interesting. What do we think about that, Tyler, with this being – well, I'll ask you about that later. Let's take a look at this map.
Yeah, we're going to dive into the map here for sure. We're going to have a lot of obstacles that you haven't seen before if you, like I said, have only been watching the sprint coverage. You'll notice the relatively flat course, minus there's a bit of an uphill there, maybe about 3/4 or 4/5 of the way through, as you can see on our map. Maybe we can zoom in on the start line and those obstacles first.
We won't be able to zoom in this time, Tyler,
Okay.
but you might immediately notice it's kind of cool to see that we used to see a long time ago. We haven't seen in years, as far as I know, at least not in America, is the log carry.
Yeah,
we haven't had that in a while. So kind of
I haven't seen it on any race I have done or we have watched so far in 2025. But essentially, it's going to be similar to a bucket, but of course, much more dense. People are going to carry it over their shoulders. A lot of times, I feel like we see it through water. So I'll be curious to see if we're going to get it through water, if it's going to be just kind of like a looped bucket carry or sandbag carry like we're used to. But I suppose, why don't we, Miles, just go over the main obstacles that we're going to see that are new to beasts that are different from sprints. One being the Irish tables, where we're going to have to kind of muscle up our way over a table that's probably about 5-ish feet high. Definitely takes a lot of upper body strength to get over that one. Let's see, what else do we have? We're also going to have...
It used to be more common. That used to be more common. They have the Irish table 2.0, and I noticed they haven't brought that back in a while.
Yeah,
I feel like most people have done these races. They've gotten pretty good at the Irish table. It shouldn't present too much of trouble for everyone at this point.
Yeah, they used to be right before the vertical cargo, but they seem to take that away. But they do just have a standard Irish table here this time. What else we're going to see here? We're going to see a Tyrolean traverse, which is typically only in beasts. It's kind of like a horizontal rope climb. Again, generally not a trouble for our elite competitors here. Everything else, if you have been following along with Spartan, you should probably know what they are. But of course, if we have any unique challenges, whether it's with weather or maybe the gaps in the monkey bars or things like that, we'll call it as we see it. But I'm looking forward to getting started. I think it's going to be a super fast course, and I'm excited to see some really strong performances out of some of our athletes. So I'm curious to see who's going to be our major players today.
Yeah, I think there'll be a bunch of challenging obstacles because it's Washington State, and as everyone knows, the Pacific Northwest, very wet. And it's, even in states that are not wet, it usually rains before every Spartan race, right? So we expect all the obstacles to be wet and the dirt to be muddy, and Washington State is no exception. So I bet you any money that's going to come into play, and it's maybe muddy and slippery. I did not see the course in person, so I'm not for sure, but we'll see here in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get this race kicked off. We'll be able to get some view of the starting line. We do know a few people who are going to be here via some interviews and things like that, but you never know if we're going to get a surprise entry here. So let's kick it over to the race. All right, here we go. We're right into the hype up video here, or video announcement.
Right now, Washington, you're home.
You can't help but say a root together at home.
Yeah, right.
We've done so many of these races. Oh.
Yeah, so just a heads up here, this is an edited race slightly. I believe we're going to see about 90% of the race. You see here right now we're already at 6 minutes in just immediately. So just an FYI there if in case you see our race jumbling around a little bit. All right, so here we see the hurdles. Again, we've seen this before. This is obstacle 2 on course. Looks like we're seeing right now some mid-pack elite runners right now. So eventually we should get to the front soon, but these guys are making their way through a creek bed at the moment. Miles, you gotta love when they put this stuff through early in the course, right? You really use up all the terrain that's available.
If you don't have good trail shoes, you are immediately finding out because all that mud is sticking to your shoes. I feel really bad for the people that showed up with just regular running shoes, which almost looks like this gentleman in the blue shirt here right in front of us. Those look like regular running shoes. That makes it so much more difficult. But hey, look at the weather. Beautiful out, 62 degrees. Hey man, it's perfect running weather. So at least the weather's perfect.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you really can't get much better than that.
Okay, there's Nicole
this racer
Bowman.
Here in the Nicole Bowman. We've seen her in some of the U.S. National Series races.
So I think some of the names we're gonna see that we showed up here today to keep a lookout for is who showed up as one of my favorite people in the whole world, Rose Wetzle. She showed up. She's an OG OCR athlete, elite athlete. She's got big into the ninja world, but she's always has a special place in her heart in OCR, and she's still a champ. She's absolutely killing. So it's wonderful to see her show up, and another one of the male elite athletes that showed up to do this race that we haven't seen in a while, Ja Shua Ried. He's an OG OCR athlete as well.
Yeah, and back to Rose Wetzle, right? She is a top dog between 2014 and probably 2018, 2019. Had a child and lost no ground pretty much. Came right back, beautiful 6-pack abs, looking fitter than ever and performing really well too. She came back in 2022 for a really great battle with Rhea Coble and Crystal Rugloski doing Utah. I remember that race. But yeah, so really excited to see her. And then of course Ja Shua Ried. Ja Shua Ried's the kind of guy who just frolics in the mountains seemingly all day. I know he has a coaching business, but he's I think he lives in a van last time I checked. So he's home is where you park it for that guy, and he really gets to enjoy that. Oh, it's a bus. I'm hearing.
Very nice. He's living his best life.
Even better. More room in the bus. Speaking of our bus man, we got Ja Shua Ried coming through right now, just making this really challenging terrain look like no problem. Right, like that was not easy terrain, and he was definitely just did not break stride.
Of course, we'll have one of our favorite ladies who've been following this whole season during the national series is Cassandra Gill. She's there, and then it looks like this race brought out some really top tier talent. A lot of very talented elite females showed up, including Annie Dube.
Yeah,
and,
both
she's been dominating.
Yeah, both Dube and Cassandra Gill had great performances in the top 5 at the Trifecta World Championship we just watched, including Annie Dube taking the win, not only for the whole series, but also in the Super and the Beast distance. So we expect Annie Dube to be a top contender, assuming her legs are fresh enough to hold off some of her competition in this race. Because she did just run a Beast 6 days ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's won every race for the women she showed up to. I don't know if there's another OCR elite female that can touch her right now.
Yeah, she did end up losing the sprint to Klara Lakajova and Sabrina Buigar. However, she missed her spear that day, and we know in a sprint, a spear miss really hurts your chances at a win. But she made it up for it in spades in the next 2 days.
Oh, nice. Okay. I didn't get to catch all that coverage. I didn't get to see that. You mean Sarah Bohagiar?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, Ja Shua
course.
Ried right now just looks like he's with nobody at the moment. That's
What he did.
impressive stuff. Let's see. Yep. Here's Ethan Paupst. Ethan Paupst is one of our top contenders in the Canadian series. We also saw him at the West Virginia race, where I believe he took 9th place overall, and had just 3 really consistent performances against really, really top level competition. So I'm definitely curious to see how he's going to perform today. Once again, 6 days off of another Spartan beast. Not only that, but then also the amount of travel he's done, being from Saskatchewan, Canada, flying down to West Virginia, and then it's probably a flight here to Seattle area as well. For Ethan, I know he's in Western Canada, so not sure if he was able to make a drive or actually had to fly again. But again, lots of travel for this young man.
Yeah, I think he's my new favorite to watch. He's a very young man, extremely talented, very fast, and he just seems like he's going to be a staple within OCR. This is a cool example of some of the younger generation coming up in the OCR and then just excelling. And he hasn't even begun the peak. He has a long to go, and I can't wait to watch him progress in OCR. He's fantastic.
Absolutely
fantastic.
We're getting our first look of the monkey bars, and you see Ja Shua Ried shaking out his arms there. If anyone remembers back this far, there was Josh was racing the 2021 Pan Am Championships in Tahoe, where he dislocated his shoulder on the monkey bars, popped it back in, and then I think he dislocated it like 2 or 3 more times during the race and still finished 4th. Something insane like that. So glad to see his shoulder held up, and he gave us a dab for hitting the bell. Yeah,
I saw the mini dab. That was incredible. Incredible. What showmanship. He's giving us a show. I love it. Now, I don't see anyone too close to Ethan.
No, it's pretty broken up already. These guys are quick. No doubting that.
Ethan has an interesting running form. What he does with his arm swing, it's
here we go.
Very interesting.
Now it's a party. Oh, okay, all right. Here's everyone else. So here you see wearing the gloves and no shirt. Yep, Dustin Needham. Yep, he's been a contender in our U.S. series races for a while.
I finally got a chance to apologize to him, Tyler. I saw him at DecaFit in Austin. This guy, I think he's racing like every single weekend. I apologized to him for us mislabeling him with all the other guys with tattoos on their back.
Yeah, right. We try to identify them. All right, we got a whole party of people, so we'll see if we can try to identify some of our top guys here. I believe the guy on the far right of the screen who just left, his name is Tomasz. I forget his last name though. I believe I
think it's Wawrzyniak. Man, he'll watch this over.
I think he's from
Poland.
Poland.
Apologize for messing up your last name.
Yeah, and then we get the ladies right behind. So we got the top 3 ladies right neck and neck at the moment. We got Rose Wetzle hitting the bell. Right behind her is Annie Dube, and then approaching the monkey bars is Cassandra Gill. I know Cassandra tends to have issues on obstacles, especially when they're wet. I think her just hand size is just not quite as large as some of her other competitors, so she has to take a little bit more cautious approach.
Well, she's shorter as a young lady, and sometimes, like this angle on this footage right here is a little mistelling, but sometimes those gaps are really wide, and it doesn't matter how good your grip is. If you're short, and it's very difficult sometimes to read it. Like she almost has to lâcher to get to that next grip, so she's at a little bit of a disadvantage there, and that's going to cost her time. But if you've seen anything, she can make up for it with her running.
Yep. All right, now we're going to look at Stairway to Sparta here. Already obstacle 7, 20 minutes in. That's Josh topping over, and then Ethan just arriving to it. So Ethan keeping that close with Ja Shua Ried. Like I said, Ja Shua Ried is an incredible runner, loads of experience. It seems like Ethan did do his homework, and he's using the red step. I know he had an issue with that in his first race over at Red Deer. So it looks like he's improved that technique and not going to fail this one this time and keep it close with Josh. Again, about 22 minutes in, approaching the Atlas carry. That looks like that might be busting.
Something you're going to normally see in a lot of beasts is a lot of carries. They're always kind of infamous for having long crawls and a lot of different carries. And so looks like this may not be the first of the carries, but you can expect to see many more.
Yeah, I think it is the first, but definitely won't be the last for sure. Yeah, it looks like we got some ladies arriving to it as well. Looks like we got Rose and Annie. And Annie just went right by Rose on that. Rose had to kind of put her knee down and roll the ball up, where Annie was able to just simply pick it up.
Well, you just can't let Rose get away too far.
No.
If you let her get out of your eyesight, she'll capitalize on that. You can't let her. You want to be competitive. You've got to either keep her within eyesight or make her break eye contact or sight of view from you.
For sure.
She has a track back around. She's extremely fast. Now, I'm not sure if Cassandra Gill has ever raced against Rose Wetzle. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that.
Probably not, because Cassandra Gill she's newer to the scene, right? Cassandra Gill's only been racing competitively, or at least at elite, for probably 3 years, and been really a top contender for like the last year and a half to 2 years. Whereas Rose Wetzle's.
There goes Joshua.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So looks like Luke's back here.
He's stumbling a little bit. It must be very undulating ground. Tall grass. Can't quite see how even it is. There's Cassandra trying to make up some time flying through.
Yeah, and Annie made up a lot of time on the last two obstacles compared to Rose and Cassandra.
At least Hewitt.
Which is surprising because Rose is extremely obstacle proficient.
Here comes Ethan in second for the men. Nobody really close to him.
You see what I'm saying about Ethan's running form? You see he kind of tosses his hands from side to side instead of front to back.
Yeah. He could probably generate a little more power with his arms. I mean, who might have critiqued, because he's most likely a ton faster than me. I never got the chance to race Ethan, but I feel like he's definitely a ton faster than me. And he doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't look that fast when you're watching him on screen. But if he's keeping up with Josh Ried, or keeping him in his sight for this long, he's definitely fast. And I mean, he proved it. He's proven it in the last few races. So don't fix what's not broken, right?
Well, I mean, it's just kind of basic physics. You imagine when you're swinging your arms like that, you imagine the momentum from the forward swing, right? You want it to be pointing forward. You want the momentum to keep driving you forward. If you're pointing it any other way, that's where the momentum is going. So that's just kind of a basics of running form and physics.
You see that?
I would say I can't see any advantage to that, but hey, maybe it's just more comfortable, and I think there's a lot to be said for if you're comfortable in your form. Especially if you're, depending where you're at mentally in the race.
Yeah, right. Here we're getting that look at the Irish tables I was trying to go over during the map. So you see the black side is for men, red side's for ladies, and I was actually probably wrong on the height estimate, because it's probably about 6 feet tall. Because Josh Ried's probably he's probably about 5'9", 5'10". He's gonna swing his arm, so he's got to go over it with his leg. Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Yeah, you basically got to do a muscle up. So as long as you go up and over it in a circle, you're good. I'll be curious to see what Ethan does here.
Okay. Yeah, we just received word that Rose Wetzle did race Cassandra Gill last year.
Cassandra Gill got the better of her that time. All right, let's see what Ethan does here. Oh, nice. Can he muscle up?
Yeah, you just got to get your upper part of your body up there. It's very shoulder intensive. You just get your shoulders up on the top and then shrug yourself up to the top and then lean your weight over. Very easy.
Yeah. And speaking of shoulders, we know Ja Shua Ried has had a big problem with shoulders, right? I mean, we saw it live in Tahoe. I saw it personally when we went down to World's Toughest Mudder in 2022 in Alabama. He was running a great race. I think he was in second or third about halfway through the night, and then he had a shoulder issue again, had to pull out. So hopefully it'll stay intact, but I'm sure he has to be a little more careful with his shoulder. Especially, he's probably, I don't know how old Josh Ried is, but I think he might be about 20 years older than Ethan, give or take. So you got to figure 20 years more on the shoulder is definitely going to make you be a little more cautious.
In his 30s? I think he's in his 30s, Josh Ried.
He's definitely in his 30s at least, for sure. Again, not Not calling Josh Ried old by any means, but definitely he's just compared to Ethan. You know, he might be almost double his age. All right, I'm curious to see what Ethan does at this water station here. I mean, we are running a half marathon.
Log carry.
Yeah, and we're getting to the log carry as well.
Well, that's a much bigger log than I think I'm used to ever seeing in previous Spartan races that did the log carry.
Yeah, and sometimes they tend to be a little bit more uneven, right? They're like buckets and sandbags are usually all uniform. But yeah, you see Ethan's log looks even a little longer than Josh's.
Just filming.
Yeah, there's no way. It's very hard to make that uniform.
Right, yeah, I mean, you make them by hand.
Thank you, though.
For sure. You hear in the background, Jason was running so well there that they thought he was one of the Josh and Ethan.
Right. He's gotten the producer Jason. He's gotten fitter and fitter. He probably could.
Right? Yeah. No. He said he doesn't put on his race shoes often, but when he does, he's a top competitor in his age group.
Yeah, and he runs with that gimbal. I'm telling you, running with that gimbal. Huge respect to all of our rabbits that helped out with this. This is a good reminder to make sure you like and subscribe and follow the OCR report so we can get more coverage, more rabbits, more good footage for you guys. We have a Patreon you'd like to donate to. Gets us better supplies and allows us to get out to all the different races and cover everything more. So make sure you're supporting this so we continue to support the sport in return.
Say that 5 times fast. Support the sport.
I didn't see that coming. I walked right into my own trap. There we go. We see the
there's
link
your
right
little,
down there.
Yeah, link at the bottom. Costs you less than a cup of coffee if you're living in New York. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I bet. I think Starbucks is based out of Washington State there, so.
Yeah, I believe
Good
you're
example.
right. All right, Josh Ried making his way back with the logs.
Looking good.
Again, they are
Logs
labeled
look
differently
better
for
than-
men and women. All right, he's all done. About 30-35, say 30-33. So this will give us a decent idea of the time distance between Josh and Ethan, which it seems like it's a 2-horse race at this point.
Yeah, there's quite the gap between second and the chase pack. I wonder how close the chase pack is together. The women,
Yeah, well,
on the women's side, they are very close. All three of them battling it out. That's a really cool race.
Way to go.
for sure. All right, so Ethan's only about 30 seconds behind from Josh, and I didn't see when the two guys picked up their log, but we're probably looking at least a 90-second gap back from Ethan to what I believe might be Dustin Needham or it might be Tomasz. I think I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, we haven't seen much footage of Tomasz. We'll have some splits here in a minute. Coming up soon. Now, is Tomasz from New York, Tyler? I know you're familiar with the OCR family up there.
Yeah. Actually, he did race in New Jersey with me back in April, so he might be. I think he usually puts Poland on his flag and stuff because he's Polish. But I guess he does live in New York. So I see him from time to time, but not all the time. I was able to. Obviously, same weekend I was able to race Killington this weekend, and didn't see him because he was out here. Josh Ried is just so athletic. The fact that he's doing this 32 minutes into a hard run, looking like a parkour athlete, is just crazy.
And look at that. They didn't do barbed wire. They decided to use the string there for that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like that's more common on the over-unders, but I'm sure we will get a standard barbed wire call.
Yeah, fair. Look like they marked the course really well, too. They got arrows and tags on the side there. It's like a very well-marked course.
Yeah, can't complain with that, right?
Yeah. And the vistas and all the races you may have been covering lately is just beautiful, man. Look at this place. This goes right along all the other races we've covered recently, which has been absolutely beautiful countryside.
Yeah, for sure. We saw a lot of that in West Virginia. I think that's what keeps me coming back to Spartan, right? I mean, Savage Race has the great obstacles. High Rocks and Decafit are really growing in numbers, but you're not going to get anything quite like Spartan when it comes to the venue choice. I think that's what definitely stands this brand out from your other brands.
Well, you know what I've been really interested in recent, the kind of how OCR has been evolving, is there seems like there's a lot of smaller local races. Well, they're actually kind of a big race, but it's just localized. Like once a year, this race, like it used to be Indian River Mud Run, right? And then after that went away, there's a bunch of other ones that came up, like ones you've seen us cover on this channel, like Warex and many others. Mythic Race.
Yeah, I got to do Midwest OCR back at last September. That was a good one, and some top guys are showing up to it, which is always good to see as well.
It's just kind of cool to see it evolve and where it's turning as a sport.
Josh Reed's making his way to some obstacle, not sure what it is. I think it looks like Bender based on the top.
It looks like Beater.
Oh, Beater. Oh, yeah, excuse me, Beater. I always get those two names swapped, but yeah, Beater, the egg beaters. So these are basically monkey bars.
Very short too.
Yeah, these are basically monkey bars that are they're gonna swing around like egg beaters. Oh, here's a better view. Yeah, so you see they're rotating a little bit. I find this obstacle to be a bit easier than monkey bars, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah,
because you can use that rotation and your hip swing to.
Well, Tyler, some people they hesitate on the transition, and it's more of a mental thing, that specific obstacle, because if you don't reach forward at the apex of the forward swing from the beater, taking advantage of your momentum, you end up at a standstill, and now it's very hard to reach the next beater. So sometimes people, they just get in their head at that obstacle, and they have a very difficult time. So for you and me, it's very easy, but I can understand why it might get in the other people's heads.
For sure. But speaking of easy, I don't anticipate any problem for Ethan here. He's been really solid at the obstacles as we've seen him so far. Yep, nice reaches. And easy bell. Yep. And you see some of our top racers almost swinging through the bell and then landing forward right back into their running stride. That right there is going to cut off, 3 to 4 seconds per obstacle. And you do that every obstacle, you're going to save a minute on course, right? They don't have to make up running. This is what makes people like Ryan Atkins, Richard Hynek, VJ Jones, just Ryan Kempson so good. Real quiet here. Nice just fire road that Ethan's running on right now.
Yep, 36 minutes in. Still plenty of race to go.
Yep. Oh, here we got some splits. So we got some splits as of the log carry, and wow. As we were kind of talking about here, so we got Ja Shua Ried and then Ethan Paupst kind of running a race of their own right now, about 30 seconds apart. Then it's Dustin Needham, who's about 4 minutes back to Ja Shua Ried. So you see the race clock up to almost 39 minutes, and we've got Dustin Needham right here on beater, and he is going to be about 15 seconds ahead of Tomasz Wawrzyniak, and then about 20 more seconds back to Ryan Shade. Yep, there's Tomasz. So basically a full obstacle difference there between the two.
For Dustin to be able to perform on this level after just racing weekend after weekend after weekend, is
he's been incredible. He's been racing less than he used to. He used to race a lot more. I raced him in Nashville when I went down there. And he's, like I said, he's a great guy and a great racer. It's very consistent. Yeah, so we'll see here. Here we got Cassandra Gill coming through beater, how to take an extra swing. And another extra swing. And Rose Wetzle's going to pass her. So is Annie Dube. Wow. Yeah. You notice Cassandra Gill loses about 5 to 7 seconds on those obstacles.
Yeah. She's just not very tall, man. It's hard without that reach on those obstacles. She's at a little bit of a disadvantage, but she makes up for it. Incredible app.
Absolutely. So here we got the women's splits at the log carry. We've got Rose Wetzle and Annie Dube basically tied, and Cassandra 18 seconds back, who she seemed to make up time because she got to beat her before them, but then lost a few seconds. So they're all together. And then we've got Jessie Byer in fourth, about 4.5 minutes back from Rose and Annie, and then Chloe Melkian about 5 minutes back from Rose and Annie. Chloe Melkian in particular as well was the top age group finisher in the Trifecta Championship. So glad to see her class up for this one because I think I believe she's in her 40s if I'm not mistaken, but she belongs in elite still. Kind of like a Cole DeRosa or Dustin Livingood, guys who's not, I guess, people who tend to go back down to age group sometimes, who really still belong, running elite.
Yeah, Cole DeRosa, I'd say, belongs in the elite. He'll podium in the elite still. He just dominates the age group. He's just he's an absolute phenom and an amazing guy as well.
Oh yeah, no, like he was a captain for Team USA last weekend.
For years now, consecutively.
Yeah. Yep, I was able to make the podium for my age group in Trifecta Worlds, and I was able to borrow his flag, so that was nice. Nice of him to give me that.
Congratulations, man! I saw that. That was awesome. I was so happy when I saw your post.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, very pleased with it. So we just saw Ja Shua Ried go by the mile 7 marker at 45 minutes in. So if it's accurate, which I know sometimes it's not always accurate, this means he's running, what is that math? Real quick, Miles. Is that that's something like a 6:30 pace average now, including the obstacles?
Did you say he's at the 7 mile mark?
Unless I saw it wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me with the way he's running.
Yeah, it's hard to do the math. I'm not sure what mile exactly, and then that's with obstacle. The 6:30 with obstacles, I don't think he's hitting that, but he's moving great.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, I wouldn't if there was any guy to do it. Ja Shua Ried would be one of those guys, but that seems a little quick. Oh wow, we're getting word from our producer that we're nailing that math. So that is just crazy. I don't know if we've ever seen something like that. I follow him on Strava, so I'm dying to look at his activity once this is over now and seeing the actual pace on this. But yeah, he is moving. Like most, moving a lot quicker than he looks like he's moving. So Ja Shua Ried's about halfway through this race, so we could be looking at a beast race right now that is 90 minutes in length, or maybe a little over, maybe even a little under if he's really flying. But we tend to see a gauntlet, so I'd probably have to guess it might be a little over the 90 minutes for us. But now I'm a little more curious to see if Ethan is still hanging with that pace or not.
I'm also interested he decided to wear a shirt. Most of our elite male athletes won't wear a shirt, but I mean, generally it's sometimes a good idea to wear more clothes when you're doing a beast.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like Ja Shua Ried's making a little pit stop here at the water station. Probably took a gel as well. It seemed like he reached for something out of his waist belt. All right, now he's got a little bit more tricky terrain here. I'm curious where this little climb is in the elevation map that we saw. I know that was like hands and knees kind of stuff, but it was yeah, it looks like he was juggling something there. I don't know if it was still the cup or what it was. Getting word from our producer / rabbit that he was juggling the rocks, and now you see him really stretching his arm. Again, looking for Ethan. So I think the shoulder will always be a concern for Ja Shua Ried, especially on an obstacle like this. Where it is
He's rocking the bone frog. He's rocking. Yeah. He's rocking the bone frog finisher shirt. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. It's another race brand.
For those of you who are new to OCR in the last few years, Bone Frog unfortunately went out of business. I believe the last one I did was in 2021. That was actually a really popular race brand. I believe they sponsored Ryan Atkins and Lindsay Webster before Spartan did back in the 2014-2015 timeline. I'm thinking of Battle Frog. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So I'm hearing. I'm getting those two mixed up. But regardless, both unfortunately did go out of business. But both known for having really tricky rigs. Bone Frog in particular, I remember knowing is known for having a really tough endurance race. One that many sometimes don't finish.
Yeah, we all held out hope in OCR that we'd see Battle Frog return. And it just never happened. It got close. It almost came back, and it just didn't happen. Such a bummer, because we all remember Platinum Dom and how great those rigs were. Those rigs were very
Absolutely.
difficult.
All right, so we got Ethan. Looks like we saw Josh Reed kind of in the background, also taking on Bender. This one's Bender. This one we're gonna go up and over the frame. So still decently close then. I think we were around 50, 52, 50 or so when we saw them. And he's running towards the obstacle now. You see there's a really long penalty loop for it, but I know that won't be a concern for any of our elites most likely. Yeah, so looks like Ethan's bumped back to about a minute behind Josh. But again, still, that's both gentlemen, incredible performance. Really a class above the rest. Yeah, like Miles, you've been saying, gotta love the way Ethan's racing here, right? So young, up there with one of the grizzled veterans of mountain running in OCR.
Yeah.
If he keeps at this, I don't know. Maybe he still has a chance to go to, I think they call it university in Canada, but maybe he has a chance to run there and really develop his skills as a runner even more, and continue to splash in OCR, kind of like we're seeing Adam Beach do, the U.S. Series champion.
Yeah, absolutely. His transitions are really good. He gets in and out of the obstacles really well, and as he keeps improving that, his overall time will definitely get even better.
Yeah, I'm curious to know really how long Ethan's been racing. It could have been a while, right? Like I started when I was 15. So if it's that long, we've been doing it for a few years. Oh my God, look at him. Josh just accelerated with that sandbag.
It's a small sandbag. Tyler, look how. When was the last time you seen Spartan? I don't know if I've ever seen Spartan use these style sandbags. It's always the sand bells or the regular sandbag.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller for sure. I've seen it like usually when there's two sandbag carries. A lot of times they will have one of these and then a regular Spartan pancake, a 60-pounder. I think this might only be like 35 pounds for the guys, maybe, not even. But
Not that I know of.
Oh, you got to take it through the.
oh, okay. So
Okay.
we did see this in West Virginia, but actually with the actual Spartan pancakes. Look at
That's
this technique.
efficient, Tyler.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
That's how you do it.
How smart.
Great idea. He must not get dizzy though. I'm surprised he's not changing direction. So for you those watching at home, you can get pretty dizzy like that. The good way to offset that is just rolling in the opposite direction. Like instead of rolling on your right side, roll on your left side, and that'll really help kind of offset the your dizziness. But he just did the whole thing in one way.
Yeah, that's why I'm finding that I'm usually more of a crawler than a spinner because I'll tend to get dizzy and then I'll actually lose time trying to run after being dizzy. So I'm better off crawling a little slower and not being dizzy and being able to get back to my run a little sooner. All right, let's see. So yeah, here's Ethan now approaching the barbed wire. Now he did this in West Virginia already with a heavier sandbag. So I'm curious what he's learned there. He's gonna opt to nice. He's gonna just hold that thing like a baby, which is smart with this lighter bag.
That's a good idea.
And
See, there he goes, switch to that side.
Yep, I was just gonna say he's switching back and forth so that way he can offset his dizziness a little bit. But yeah, he arguably did that quicker than Josh, and Josh looked smooth, but I think Ethan looked smoother on that. Which the next 30 minutes of this race or so, if we're predicting the time right, he's gonna need to make these moves.
Joshua's a bigger guy as well, and Ethan's younger man, and he still went through it. You see, that's the camaraderie. That's OCR right there. See, it's one of the things I love about this sport. We're competing against each other, but we're all friends and want to see each other do.
Absolutely.
That kind of camaraderie keeps bringing you back.
Pretty good length carry, huh? What's that? Pretty good length carry. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not hurting too bad. He can have a conversation like that. Love the attitude too. Says I love it. Yeah, I haven't seen them use that style sandbag in quite a while, and maybe they did that to save on, to save their sandbags from getting beat up too much, knowing it's going to be taken through the barbed wire problem.
Yeah, I actually got lucky during West Virginia's race, and I found a sandbag that was bleeding a little bit of rocks. So,
No, nice.
As it drags or as it gets pecked by the barbed wire, you're gonna probably see some damage to those sandbags. And those aren't cheap, right? Where if these sandbags break, it's a little bit more cost efficient for sure. And as much as we love Spartan, Spartan loves being cost efficient, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They got to turn a profit. It's a business at the end of the day as well.
Yep. And we also, again, had a race in Killington, and I think there might have been one other U.S. race, possibly. If not U.S., definitely. Probably another North American race of some sorts. Wouldn't surprise me when they put on 3 in one weekend.
You know who showed up for Killington? It was really cool.
I know who
Robert
showed up.
Killian.
Yeah, because I got 4th to him.
Oh, did you do that race?
I did. Yes, sir.
Oh, nice, man. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
he took on what's arguably one of the hardest, if not maybe the hardest Spartan venue there is.
Oh yeah, my quads are still destroyed, and then we're talking. This is going to be an hour and a half race
Third
here.
place off in the distance. Hard to tell who it is.
Looks like we got some 3rd and 4th place runners getting to the sandbags. That kind of shows how long it was. But yeah, I was talking about Killington there. We're talking about this race is going to be about 90 minutes. I finished 4th in the elite division in Killington, and it took me 3.5 hours. So for those of you with early bedtimes, you got to be lucky we're not covering Killington today.
Yeah, the Death March is an infamous section of the Killington venue where it is either a sandbag carry or just a trek up what is extremely steep for a very long period of time, and is infamously known throughout the community as the Death March. You're going to find that in Killington.
Yep, thankfully no carry this time, but it was definitely has some elevation, about 6,000 feet. I got it was definitely tough.
Oh wow!
All right, here we got Josh hitting Twister. Oh, he looks smooth.
That's the way to go, backwards, man. I don't care what anyone says. It's my favorite way.
Yeah, I would really like to see Twister be three sections in a beast, just making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, isn't it normally 3 sections in a beast? Sure.
It used to be. Yeah, it used to be, but now I don't think I've seen a 3-section Twister in quite some time. Or sometimes they'll do what's called Monkey in the Middle, where they'll do usually it's a section of Twister, usually a section of monkey bars. I think Twister, monkey bars, maybe even another length of Twister. I've seen that before, and that's a tough one, right? I think we were seeing that, in the Rylan video, we were seeing him tackle an obstacle like that, and commentator Bracken was saying he's up there for like 45 seconds, where that's definitely a lot more of a challenge than something like this, where he was on there for maybe 12 seconds. Ethan making his way through Twister, doing a forward approach. Again, I feel like this is one obstacle that I feel like we really haven't seen one approach win the day. We've seen sideways, we've seen forward, backwards. It's really interesting how that's really never been unified. But
yeah, I will say that the backwards definitely seemed faster in that, though. I know I'm biased towards that backwards technique, but I think we just saw both gentlemen go through it pretty fast, but the faster of the two was definitely the backward style.
Agreed. I actually prefer sideways, actually, just because you get to when you go backwards like that, or sideways, you can see your next handle, where some backwards might be a little bit easier to miss a handle.
Probably in first.
All right, here we get Annie Dube right there in what looks to be a blue top. I think she looks like she must be approaching the sandbag at this point. Right behind her appears to be Cassandra Gill. Meanwhile, we got Josh going through rolling mud, and smartly going over the side. As long as he's in that tape, he's he's good to go. So, really
Yeah,
showing his.
The hard part about
showing
rolling
his-
mud is that there's no way of keeping your hands out of the mud, right? You generally try to keep your hands out of the mud so it'll be fresh for any kind of grip intensive obstacles. But in this, you're just screwed. You just no way but to get your hands all up in the dirt.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're seeing a dunk wall for the first time in a while. We've been seeing a lot less dunk. Usually it was very common. Seeing a lot less of those barricades that force the competitors to go under the wall. So I guess good to see that back, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like I haven't gotten sick after a Spartan race yet, and I like to think that's correlated with not having to go completely submerged underwater.
Yeah, 62 degrees outside, and you can hear the wind in the mic. It must be the perfect day for weather-wise. Remember, this entire national series, the weather seems like it's been great, race after race. Really
Yeah, and I feel like for the most
lucky.
part, because we really don't race these races in anything that's super cold, and even if it's a hot day, you're more likely than not gonna not have that be a factor just because it's so early in the morning. So I feel like this, not too bad. I know West Virginia, of course, the sprint was started at noon, so it was 85 degrees. That definitely made it a lot more challenging.
Taylor, how do we feel about that? The entire national series, American national series, well, actually, all the national series in of the Americas have been sprints, and yet to make the Pan American Championship a beast, what do we think about that decision?
Yeah, I feel it's kind of ununified, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
For instance, Adam Beach, he's told me on many occasions that he's a sprint guy. Sprint, maybe a super guy. He's not going to come out to a beast, right? It's just not because he's not specializing in that kind of distance, right? It'd be like asking Usain Bolt to come up and run a marathon, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't
It's
make
just
any
a different
sense.
energy pathway that it takes. It's a different kind of athlete that it requires. And Ja Shua Ried, this is right up his alley. He always does really good at the longer stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I
we're
just
seeing,
don't-
we're seeing, yeah, and we're seeing Ethan do both here, right? We're seeing him be a leader in the Canadian series in the sprint, and then currently in second, right behind, not too far off of Josh Reed in this beast here. But you're going to see a lot of athletes prefer to specialize, and it's just if you're going to do an all sprint series, I would say you want to make it all sprints. But this is leading up to our championship event in Abu Dhabi again this year in December. Not sure if any of these gentlemen are going to make the trip all the way out there, but again, that one's going to be a beast. But I was saying earlier that I do like that we have a championship race for each different distance. But I do think the series should be either unified or it should be kind of one of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. My thoughts exactly. And then what's even more interesting is that there's a super national championship coming up, right? Which all super distances. So it just seems disjointed, and that's not too far off.
I don't know if there's a full super series, but we do know that there's going to be. I think our next race, Recovery Mile, is going to be the Mammoth Lakes race, and that one's going to be a super distance, about 10K.
You're right. I think it's like a super distance championship.
Right, and that's the first time they've had that since very early days in 2011 in Texas when that was their very first championship. They did a super, but back then it was 9 miles instead of a 10K. All right, so here we're looking at Dustin Needham here on Twister, showing a good lock. He's kind of going sideways, nice lock off technique.
Yeah, all bicep.
And then,
must have been very tiring.
And then we got Tomasz going backwards. So again, those two gents are probably about the same distance apart as they were when we saw them over at Beater. We're a little frozen up here. There we go.
I think he's going through that a little slower because he's going arm over arm. He's like crossing the arms as he's going back, and I think that's leading to a little bit of him swaying from side to side instead of traversing linear.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely
definitely.
Yeah, he definitely lost a little bit of time on that one.
There's something very tranquil about just hearing the sounds of the footsteps and the insects, or just the sounds of nature during this race. There's something almost ASMR-ish, very tranquil. We're bringing you lo-fi vibes for the Pan American Championships.
Right. I think I want to take those sounds and put them in my white noise machine.
Yeah, for sure. There's something special about it when you do this, when you do obstacle course racing competitively. It's not like in the open waves where everyone's like using cutting jokes and having a good time. You know, the conversation's wonderful, and it's you're just sucking wind, man. You're trying to go as fast as you can, and so it's you could have a lot of people close together, but it's just huffing and puffing.
Right. Yeah.
You just hear the sounds of the feet.
Looks like the terrain is a little bit challenging here on this section. I know it looks like I saw Josh trip a few times coming up this bit. And looks like he's got a little bit of an incline to work with as well. This might be that little pointy section that we had about 3/4 of the way through the race. Still looking great though.
Yeah, anytime the grass and the shrubs are up high like that, it's hard to quite tell how undulating the ground is underneath you. So you gotta be really careful about your ankle stability. We just saw Annie Dube go by, and then of course there's
that looks smooth.
Dustin
She was skipping every handle on that twister, which is really impressive. All right, so I'm just kind of getting a time stamp on Needham here, 1:10:35 through the dunk wall. I don't know if you see Tomasz go through it as well. Who's that? That is Cassandra Gill. All right, yep, here we got Tomasz. Let's see where he's at. Yeah, about 1:10:50, so about 15 seconds gap between Tomasz and Dustin, and looks like that's going to be our big battle for podium. All right, then we got Rose making her way through Twister. She's probably about 20 seconds back from Cassandra. So again, a really tight race there. Oh, look at this.
It looks like a very short. Oh no, that is very long. Look, it curves off to the side, the barbed wire crawl, and that wire, it's extremely low.
Oh yeah, looks tough, especially with all that grass.
Oh yeah, you're rolling through God knows what at that point. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that is a very difficult barbed wire crawl.
I'm curious to see if Ethan's going to be able to make up any time, considering he's a smaller athlete. This is where the smaller athletes, or even like a Cassandra Gill, smaller athletes tend to make up some time on a barbed wire crawl.
You know what, Tyler? That wire is so low, I don't think it matters how short you are. I don't think it's so low. I'm not sure anyone is getting any advantage on this.
Either way, your face...
Yeah, he's still hitting it. Look, he's still hitting those wires, man. And he's trying his best to not hit those.
Either way, your face looks like it's going to be in the dirt regardless.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there is no efficient way of doing that. That is the lowest barbed wire crawl I've seen in a while.
But he seems to be very tactical right now, picking out his path pretty smartly.
Yeah, he sees those bushes in front of him. You really have to, man. You don't want to run into a thorny bush or something like that. You don't know if that's ahead of you. In a Spartan race, it very well could be.
Wow, yeah. And then here we got Ethan making his way to it. I didn't get a timestamp on when Ja Shua Ried got into it, but looks to be maybe about a minute and a half still between these two guys. But you gotta like how you gotta feel pretty good if you're seeing your competitor still at the obstacle. He's through it about a 1:13. Curious to see if we'll get a timestamp on Ethan when he gets through. Because this is basically our we have two battles going on right now on the men's side, right? We have Josh Ried with a decent gap on Ethan, and then we've got Dustin and Tomasz for that third spot.
Well, Joshua's putting on a show, man. You see him frolicking through the glades there? It's awesome.
Yep. And then we got a split here through Twister. So I know we saw Needham and Tomasz go through that one. They're about 6.5 to 7 minutes behind our lead guys, and then we've got Victor Marchuk about 5 minutes off of them. So we're real spread out. Doesn't seem like we got as as big of a field as we would have wanted at this race. Would have loved to see some more guys in there, but we can only call the race we got.
Yeah, Cassandra doing awesome, man. Really making Rose work for it.
Yeah, there's Rose jumping in from the top, but we always get scared when we see that. We saw Grayson hurt himself. We also saw Rylan hurt himself in one of his first races when he was running. So I always get nervous.
Now, I wonder how many people watching at home have done these races will remember the time in Spartan where you were never allowed to carry it on your shoulder like that. Remember when you had to carry the bucket just in the front?
Yep. And then even furthermore,
you remember that?
You do any races where you had to fill the bucket as well?
Yeah. You had to refill them all before you would put the lid on, and then you had to carry it in front of you. So a lot of people are doing deadlifts and trying to do exercises to strengthen their lower back. Otherwise, it would just be really difficult.
Yeah, but the bucket carry was pretty much unrunnable back then.
Yeah, I put it down. I put that bucket down. Many races. Yeah. Game changer when they said you could carry it any way you want.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Our rabbit trying to catch his breath. Get a little bit of time while Ja Shua Ried makes fast work of this bucket carry.
I remember too, they used to have holes in the bucket carry as well, and you used to have to fill up your bucket up to the holes, and if you didn't fill it up to standard, you'd have to actually repeat the bucket carry again.
Yeah, they saw sunlight.
Yep, no sunlight.
He's moving fantastic with that bucket.
You might as well overfill it just to make sure. Okay, so we got Josh on the bucket as well as Ethan's already on it. So again, as a twister, those guys were about a minute and change ahead between each other. I still think maybe on that long barbed wire crawl, Ethan might have made up a little time.
I don't see Ethan there though. Looks like he hasn't hit the bucket carry yet, right?
No, he's out there.
He's out there. Okay, I missed him.
Yeah, we saw our rabbit point number 2 to him out in the distance. He was kind of on screen for just a brief moment. All right, let's see if we can get another split here. So we got about 1:16:28 or so. We did hit a timing mat. Oh, nice balance. A little extra obstacle.
You can tell he just really enjoys trail running and being out in nature.
I don't know if Josh Ried knows what a road run is. I think he's just like his casual Tuesday is just a trail. I mean, I believe he still lives out in Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. I know, of course, he's living in that bus, so we can kind of go wherever he feels like it. But yeah, he's always parking out trails. I mean, he's really good buddies with DJ Fox, who's been a World Toughest Mudder champion, as well as I think DJ set the record recently for the Colorado Trail, which is like 475 miles or something insane like that. And Josh did a lot of pacing with him for that effort. All right, here we got Ethan. We had a little bit of a jump in race time, but still trying to. It's still not over, right? I don't think we've seen a spear throw yet. So, if you have that in the back of your mind, again, could be a difference maker for these two guys.
Yeah, I was wrong about the course being very muddy. It seemed like that was just at the beginning of the course. We've seen a lot of dust kick up off the ground. It seems like the rest of this course is pretty dry.
Yeah, and I mean, typically they do. We all do know this. The Pacific Northwest gets a lot of rain, but perhaps we got an unseasonable amount of weather. All right. As Ethan storms his way down this downhill, we've got women at Twister for you. So we've got Cassandra, Gill, and Rose Wetzle less than a minute behind Annie Dube, who's your current leader. And then we've just got, to be honest, an insane gap between the rest of the pack. Chloe Melkian and Jesse Beyer, they are about 11 minutes apart, but still battling for 4th, 5th. Unfortunately, no prize money there for those women, but there's still pride on the line there.
We haven't seen armor. We haven't seen this in a while, right? I don't think we've covered a race this year that's had this.
Yeah, this for some reason this is a beast only obstacle as well. It's not really. It's in fact easier than Atlas Carry, right? It's basically Atlas Carry with a handle. But for some reason, only in a beast. Yeah, it's just a little awkward, but it's not very long. I mean, imagine if armor was like an actual loop, like a bucket or something. That would be horrible.
Don't give them ideas, Tyler. Quit it.
Yeah, right. They're gonna listen to the broadcast and they're like,
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah,
wait till the next time you race. They're gonna find out what race you show up next.
Yeah, I won't reveal my schedule.
Smart.
All right, we got another little course cut off here between beast and sprint. So again, we have a whole trifecta weekend this weekend. So see some people doing the sprint later.
Oh, section of quarry.
Yeah, Ethan made quick work of that downhill in that. Oh, look at this.
Oh, wow, look at this.
Oh, this is technical.
Jesus, there he is. Josh already making it through. Holy crap, I'm too slow.
There's our producer, Jason. Yeah, that's pretty steep. He can't keep in mind, he's still got to hold that gimbal. If you're in the race, you can grab that rope and climb down there. That is steeper than it looks in camera.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, steeper and slicker. You don't know where your feet are going. But, again, this is where Ja Shua Ried, where he's just living in the trails almost, seems. Going to make light work of that tricky terrain.
Now, let me ask you this, Tyler. In West Virginia, the Trifecta World Championship, do they have that little famous part where it's very steep with the little ropes right there like they just showed? It's a little longer.
They did have a very steep section, but there was no ropes.
Okay.
It was challenging.
Oh, okay.
So we're hearing that was
word
part of the sprint.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
All right. And I kind of missed. I keep saying I'm going to get the time between Josh and Ethan. I kind of keep missing it. But it looks like you see Josh running behind there. So it's not. It's definitely still not as far as it looks. So I am again super impressed by Ethan. He just raced really hard at Trifecta World Championships. And then now here he is again, racing extremely well. He's also raced twice in August. So this is like 6 races in like a month for Ethan.
Yeah, we're starting to get towards the end of this race. That's already obstacle 30 to 35. Helix, kind of a staple at this point.
Oh, I really haven't seen it though in many races. Actually, this might be the first time I've seen it in 2025.
I've seen it in other races, just none of the races that we've covered.
Yeah, again, shouldn't be too challenging for any of our elite competitors, especially considering how dry it seems to be.
Yeah, absolutely. They tried to make it a little more difficult by ensuring you can't put your hands on top when you're going through Helix. It's got to be on the sides. You're not allowed to touch the top. So that definitely makes it a little more difficult.
For sure. Oh, here we got. Looks like we got Tyrolean Traverse coming up for Josh.
I think one of the real important parts of Tyrolean Traverse is picking your lane correctly. You really want the rope that is the most taut. If you pick a rope that droops down when you're in the middle, just basic physics once again, you're gonna have more of a climb. You're gonna struggle more when you're going up towards the belt. So
Absolutely. I may have actually misspoke. We may have already gotten through Tyrolean Traverse because let's see, Josh was kind of running away from it. So there's
I
more
run away from
section
it
or. Yeah. All right. So we got Ethan approaching Helix now. I'm gonna say it's about 90 seconds right here between Ethan and Josh. So Josh starting to extend the lead a little bit on Ethan, but again, both gens just running dangerously fast. I mean, we saw the split at Twister. 7-minute gap between second and third is just out of control in a race like this. Oh, okay, so here he is right now on Tyrolean.
So he doesn't have the long socks on, so he opted for that method where it's just swinging one leg over another. If I'm in a beast, I wear the long socks specifically so I can just grab that rope and glide my legs along and just pull myself by the arm. So much faster.
Absolutely.
I would say the slowest technique through Tyrolean Traverse is if you've ever seen people get on top of the rope and kind of slide their way down. I find
Yeah,
that
we
to be
actually.
very difficult.
I feel like I've seen Robert Killian do that a ton, and as well as we saw Sabrina do that last weekend, which is kind of surprising.
There just seems
I
to
think
be a bit of an anatomical obstacle in that form of doing that. So if Robert Killian can nail that, he's a phenom, right? I could see girls doing it, but just anatomically, I would have a lot of trouble getting on top of that rope, dragging myself across.
Yeah, definitely understandable there for sure. I wouldn't say Josh looks labored, but he definitely looks focused right now. He definitely sees
He looks faster than I've seen him this whole time. Honestly, to me, I think he doesn't look labored at all, but he actually looks faster.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to be impressed with this guy's physique in general. I mean, his arms, his leg muscles, just like kind of similar to Igor Belousov, who we saw out of Russia, who we saw last weekend, and Richard Hynek as well. Both bigger guys who can move through space. You know, it's impressive at that weight. You know, I know it's of course not big by any means in general, but as you know, if we compare Josh next to Ethan, Josh is probably 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I can't wait to keep watching Ethan
nothing.
grow.
Yeah, right. Hopefully, Randy feeds him some more milk and protein.
Is that a missed obstacle to make him go underneath the tractors there? I feel like if this was the Mexican National Series, you would have went underneath the tractors.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any of the Mexican athletes. I really enjoyed covering their series, and I was hoping to see some of them.
And this would be a course that the Mexican athletes would do really well on. I remember we saw Eugenio,
Godinez.
as well as Ciro. I remember they were running with VJ Jones at one of the Mexican races, I think out in Puebla. And if a course like this where it's super flat, that would be right up their wheelhouse.
Thank you.
All right, here we got Ja Shua Ried taking on Z-Wall.
Yep, quick work. Very nice. Very dry Z-wall, too. Makes that much easier, like we're talking. Just some of these obstacles become so much more difficult when they're wet. Yeah, he's coming up to the end here. This is right before the ending.
Yep.
Once again, picking your lane in this rope climb, super important. What you can't quite tell is that there'll be some
technique.
ropes.
He's putting his feet all the way up to his head.
Go,
Wow, he
go.
did that in 2 pulls. That was
Oh
awesome.
wow. Nice.
So,
You know, some of the ropes
So have
have
we-
knots. Some of them don't.
so have we seen a spear throw yet or no? not get-
I think.
Oh, no.
Spear throw-
Speaking of
yep,
which.
right there.
Here we go, right at the end.
Double.
So, I mean, but the lead between Josh and Ethan is not large enough, I don't think. If Josh
Yeah.
were to miss here, Ethan could make it interesting.
Yeah.
So this is high pressure. But
I mean, there's not more spectators. You're very close to the
yeah.
venue,
Oh,
right?
Oh, nice.
Wow. Almost gets it.
That was also a
wrapped
great-
up at this point.
That was also a great shot of that spear throw. A really great angle. Is that that's it? Or well, A-frame cargo. That's it. So he knows he's got it wrapped up now with that spear throw.
Wow, amazing. How many miles was this? 13?
Yeah. Now that we know that Josh is gonna win, I might have to check out his Strava real quick. I'll
I
report back in a
mean,
moment.
13 miles, an hour 40 with obstacles. Amazing. Awesome job. Look, he's such a showman. He's such a showman. I love it. Okay, it's about 12 something in distance. Really impressive.
Way to go, bro. Crushed it.
Little celebration. There's your first place elite male, Ja Shua Ried, your 2025 Pan American Championship. That's awesome. Congrats to
Stir.
him.
Yeah, so 12.83. Wow. Yeah, his moving time was 1:33. Looking at his stats right now.
As soon as I seen you showed up, they asked me. They were like, "Hey,
Yeah, his
what do you?
his
What do
elapsed
you think
pace
is gonna
including
win?"
us was
And I saw you
7:48.
running by. I was like, "I don't know if y'all know about my boy
Incredible.
Joshua, but that is the biggest threat in any
Hey,
field."
oh, I thought that was Mark Montano.
Way to go, bro. You want to give me a quick word before I run back out?
Yeah, man. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always inspiring. I was watching Balin run from last year.
Yeah.
That was inspiring. It was like, be strong,
Yeah.
carry things on. Yeah, it was a beautiful day, man. The sun shining in our faces as we were running through the field.
Heck yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, grateful. Yeah.
Way to come out and crush, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Way to go.
Yeah, right.
See ya.
All right. We'll see if Ethan makes his spear throw. Based on the gap, though, it's probably doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I think we were wrong. I think if he did miss it, that's enough of a gap that he could have done the burpees and still crossed in first.
I think it could have been close.
Nice. Man, beautiful.
Good stick. Yeah, you don't want to do burpees here. Oh, look at this. All right,
Oh,
this
wow.
is going to be
All
this
right,
will be
race
where our
for
attention
third.
goes to next. So here we are on the rig. Obstacle, I believe obstacle 30. Let's see what happens here. Oh, wow. Dustin taking a little longer on that pipe. Oh, man. It's a big pass on that obstacle. That's
Yeah.
energizing. That's energizing for Tomasz.
Yeah, that's surprising. Dustin has done so many of these races.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
so is
really
Tomasz, though.
efficient at the rig.
Yeah, both guys definitely have good experience. But yeah, Ethan's got to be just thrilled with that performance.
Hell of a year for Ethan Paupst.
Way to go, Ethan.
Oh yeah, and he's still got
Going in the Canadian National Series and now getting second place in the Pan American Championship.
Oh, my goodness gracious, dude. Yeah. Oh, nice. I got cleaned off a little bit.
Yeah, look, they probably cut up their legs on that
Ethan,
roll.
you want to give me a quick word before I run back out?
Such a course. Nice and warm, nice and flat. I no longer like blackberry bushes. They didn't have any blackberries on us, couldn't eat them. But yeah, they cut you up pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done, man.
Thank you.
See ya. You're welcome.
You know that
All right.
stung when he washed his legs. That's, I'm sure he got cut up pretty good.
Oh yeah, we've all been
Andy
there if you've
Dube.
done a Spartan race.
No, absolutely.
All right,
There's Andy
so we
Dube,
got
first place
Andy.
female.
Yep. So I'm curious to see if we've got any company on this shot, but and make her way right through this rig. skipping rings, nice and easy. Ooh. Almost had a miss on the bell. That was kind of close. Looks like we got Cassandra. She looks like to be about a minute back from Annie right now. I was trying to do the math on the race clock here.
Yeah, I missed it.
But definitely a decent distance. But, I mean, good race out of Cassandra, right? I think she was disappointed to not take a podium in any of the 3 races in West Virginia. So she's no stranger to the podium and should be in good shape to get back on there. All right, now we got Rose Wetzle. So again, we've seen that race clock jump a little bit, and Rose Wetzle looks to be about 90 seconds behind Cassandra. Again, surprising it's not a little closer between these two, but just shows what kind of race they're really both having. Ooh, struggling here a little. Oh no!
No!
Ooh, tough fall.
Oh no, ouch. Rose, you okay?
I would have loved. I would. It bothers me it does bother me a good bit that there's not padding. Because things like that happen and you just kind of cringe. We see Nicole Miracle tear her ACL at Hildervat, right? Sure, there's been plenty more injuries in open waves, especially open waves because they're more likely to fall on obstacles.
Yeah, the fact that we saw Rose struggle right there through the rig and Dustin Needham, both of which have done a billion of these races, are very experienced OCR athletes. Their grip is probably extremely taxed. There's probably footage there that we just didn't see in this coverage of, just wearing out their grip, plain and simple. Either that or they just went through something muddy because that's just unlike them.
Yeah, for sure. So now we're looking at, so we saw a tie pretty much between Dustin and Tomasz at the rig, and now we've got a little more than a whole obstacle with Tomasz and Dustin. So Tomasz really picking up speed, and Dustin might be feeling a little bit. However, as we know, we've got the spear that is not far from, or really not far from the end, but it's going to come down to it. And Miles, as you were mentioning, you see Dustin here dragging his legs. He's got those long tights on.
Yeah, he looks like he's hurting there, man. Looks like he's in the pain cave.
Absolutely.
Female Annie Dube.
Yeah, so here's Annie.
Place male.
Yeah. Worth noting as well that Annie is
way to go.
Annie would be in 5th overall at the Pan American Championships, male or female. That just kind of shows what kind of performance she's putting down right now.
Yeah, I'm just not familiar with Tomasz, but yeah, man, he seems to be doing fantastic. Look at that.
Yeah, I did race against him in against him in West Virginia, in New Jersey. He actually got DQ'd, I believe, or a 10-minute penalty for not doing burpees at the spear throw. I think he had a disagreement with one of the volunteers that the spear was stuck or not, and he opted to not do burpees, and they decided that it was not in. So definitely curious to see if he's going to have any issues with the spear. It's kind of always a lesson to listen to the volunteers, right? Because they don't care if you disagree. They will.
The rules actually state that you just really got to do what they say, even if you disagree with them. I understand why that could be frustrating at times, for sure. Do we know how old Tomasz is?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. I have no idea. I've never met the gentleman that I can remember.
I've never gotten to talk to him. Unfortunately, that kind of disagree. Yeah, that DQ is the best, or the big penalty is the best information I have on him from that race that we shared. But I'll put in perspective that he did beat me in that race. So I think even with the penalty, he still beat me. So that's how fast Tomasz is.
He has an interesting running form as well, too. He kind of has his arms flailed out. Like
yeah, they're hanging pretty low.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Oppa skipped the water. He sees the end is near.
Yeah, well, he knows Dustin's right behind him. And Dustin, you don't want to underestimate Dustin, so you got to move with purpose.
Absolutely.
Kind of disappointed they didn't keep the Z-Wall 2.0 and keep playing around with that formula.
Or it'd be nice to see it with a
nice.
like in a beast, kind of see the obstacle evolve a little bit. All right, Tomasz making his way to the rope climb. Tomasz is 40, we're hearing. Okay.
Okay. That's definitely amazing. Competing against guys much younger.
I guess the rule there didn't stay the same with the dropping off the rope.
Oh, I didn't realize Dustin is 42. I was wrong. Man, Dustin looks so much younger.
Yeah, he gives me he personally gives me flack on Instagram for calling him old, so I'll hold back on that. But we're saying Dustin is we're saying you're very impressive.
I can give him crap. I'm older.
Nice hit. I mean, that was really quick work from Tomasz. Yeah, I was gonna say the pull and the throw is probably one of the fastest we've seen. And look at the energy now out of him.
Yeah,
I feel like whenever you hit your spear, you're just like ready to rip. As soon as you hit that is huge. Especially because he knows he locked up third. And a miss there could have made it interesting for sure. I kind of almost wish we saw some carnage at the spear. I feel like sometimes when you don't see carnage, it's like not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so far everyone's hit it.
I've started to adapt a little bit of a new strategy where I like to walk up to the spear and walk all the way to the last lane and then throw it. It cost me a little bit of time on the approach, but better than 30 burpees.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to lower your heart rate.
All right. So here's Tomasz taking third place in the Pan Am Championships. Definitely probably the biggest placement of his career for sure. I don't know what his stats are as far as podiums are, but for sure. Can only imagine it's a huge accomplishment, especially again at 40, right? To be still taking third in a regional, or I guess a international race, if you consider it's Pan Am with Mexico and Canada and U.S.
I mean, they probably will, not me.
What's he asking?
A top 3 picture.
Yeah.
Was he,
So the main photographer will.
was he speaking English there? I couldn't understand.
He wants a picture with the top 3, like at the finish line.
Oh, okay.
But all right, here's Annie. Don't know if we've seen Dustin get through this section yet, or if Annie passed him. All right, hits that bell. All right. Annie did really great with her spears after missing in the sprint at West Virginia. So see if she's warmed up for this one here.
She was catching Dustin. Did she? Is it possible she caught Dustin? I don't think so.
Yeah, it looks like I don't see Dustin in the burpee zone either. So I have to imagine he also made his. So we might have missed Dustin's finish in 4th. So definitely a great performance out of him.
Taking her time. Smart.
Yeah, she really lines it up.
Yeah.
Nice. She decided to go with that strategy where you arc it. It paid off.
Oh, there's Dustin now. Oh, there's Dustin doing burpees now. He was kind of over in the corner. Wow. So Annie Dube would locking up 4th overall out of male or female. That is that's impressive stuff.
I don't care how good you are at the spear throw. Any day could be your day to miss it. Doesn't matter how many times you practice it. It happens to everyone. It's not a matter if it'll happen, it's just when. I've never met an OCR athlete that's never missed it. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes,
We
sir.
just received
We gotta
word
get-
from Justin Needham in the comments that on the multi-rig, the bar spun.
Yeah,
And that's what we couldn't quite tell in this coverage. Yeah, that would definitely add another level of difficulty to it.
I've been seeing that lately, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if some of the bars spun and some didn't, because Spartan, sometimes the build crew can be doing so many races going so fast that they're just getting getting a little lazy with the tightening of the bolts. But there's Annie Dube breaking the tape. 157.
Continuing her domination.
Yep, and there's Dustin coming through, finishing 4th. So again, definitely appreciate you, Dustin, for listening to the coverage of your own race. All right, now we've got something interesting here. We've got Cassandra Gill approaching the spear, and unfortunately, Cassandra Gill has not had much luck with the spear. And there's her husband, Joe, running over to hopefully get a video of a hit here, is what he's hoping for.
Oh, yeah, nice, man. He's got the professional equipment. Look at that. That man is prepared. He understood the assignment.
Oh,
Bummer.
she seems to really struggle with getting it over there.
Yeah.
She really takes a big step. Yeah. All right, well, here we are. She's doing burpees now, and we'll see if Rose can close this gap.
You said her husband's name is Joe?
Yeah, he's right there walking through.
He's right there? Joe, you got to reach out to me, buddy. I got to teach you how to build the spear throw at home so you guys can practice it.
Right?
Okay. Instructions.
So here comes Rose. She's running towards the gauntlet. She's still going to have to run up here, do Z-wall, rope climb, and throw her spear. So I like to think that Cassandra is going to be able to finish her burpees in time. And Miles Keller, we've got, I say green light on these burpees.
Yeah, absolutely. Those look great. Those are completely legit. Look at that. Hands above the ears, feet leave the ground, hips lock out. That's fantastic. Good pace going, too. Especially, man, this is 12 miles in, and she's nailing these burpees. She looks good. Quick little look back to see if anyone's trying to catch her. Yeah, it's a cool technique our producer was just mentioning. You notice how she drops down, but then she steps up, almost like you're seeing in high rocks when people do the burpee broad jumps. It's always anything you can to save a little bit of energy. At this point in the race, though, this is the end of the race. You just expend it all. Leave it all out. Go.
She's done. Yep. That was pretty quick. That was probably 90 seconds.
Yeah, that was legit. It'll take most people 3 minutes to do those 30 burpees. And then they get right back into the run after 30 burpees at this speed, but she knows the finish is right there. Fantastic, man. She's had a fantastic year, and it's been so enjoyable watching Cassandra Gill dominate the field and do great.
Yep, hoping to see her more next year for sure.
It's cool she got the race against Annie Dube and really let one of the other famous elite females in our sport give her a run for her money.
I mean, not only give her a run for her money, she beat her. Straight up.
She beat her. That's what I mean. Just you really work for it. She got to go up against, she went up against Rose before, but she's going up a couple of legends in the sport for the women. See, look at that. That's cool. Cassandra Gill is taking the same technique I do. I don't think I've seen anyone else do that. I'll slide my butt down that section of the strap that goes straight down, like a slide.
Yeah. I'm more of a double flip kind of person, but I see what you mean.
Yeah, fair. I think that's how most people do it. Either that or roll down it, right?
All right, Cassandra Gill spent everything on those burpees, but gets the finish in second place. And then we should have Rose Wetzle kind of lining up her spear. But again, we saw Chloe Melkian and Jessie Byer, I think was her name, about 10 minutes back. So
it was Allison.
Unfortunately, there's really no big dramatics here on this toss. Just a procedure at this point.
Yeah, she's done this so many times.
Yeah.
Nice stick.
All right, she nails it.
It's so fun seeing, especially towards the end of the race, because it's the first time I've seen a spear throw at the end of the race in a while. Just seeing their kick right afterwards.
Yeah, I tell you what, Ja Shua Ried has kind of set the bar. I'm gonna kind of need everyone to give me a little mini dab now when they hit the spear throw like that.
I did not realize it.
Or no, he dabbed after the monkey bars, but and he did
the
a
monkey
salute
bars.
after the.
I just need to see it at some point. You know what I mean? I need a little bit of a show now.
Yeah. I'm more of a expletive yeller personally. Whether I make or miss, it's either a F yes or an F no. It's either F
fair.
something. Yeah.
Yep, there's the rolling technique we were just talking
Yep.
about.
All right. Nice first race back for Rose Wetzle. I don't think she's run a race in 2025 yet. So to take third in the Pan Am Championships and run this strong is always impressive. Again, you know, we hate to harp on people's ages, but I'm, like I said, again, a mother. I believe she's over 40 now. That is
She is.
impressive fitness that, you know, many young ladies can only aspire to have.
She'll always be a legend in the sport. We love Rose Wetzle.
She's on the female rush.
Nice job. Hey, way to
Yeah,
go.
for sure.
You too. Sorry, I didn't see y'all out more on course.
Interviews.
My fault for not staying up with these.
Look how shredded Annie Dube is.
Yeah, how was it out there?
She's as fit as can be.
Unreal.
You pulled up first. Went 6:25 pace. I was like, I can do 6:25. And then the wall. It always takes me a couple tries with the 8-foot wall. I did catch up at the 8-foot wall. That's true. I kind of saw you get your hair caught in the bar. I've been there. Well, I mean, I got
Just in the back got caught.
my shirt. Yeah, but not my hair.
That was as low as it's been. With
Ever.
that high of grass.
Ever,
And we're like
yeah.
going over very bushes.
The one up the hill?
Yeah, it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know how this happened. Like, to get
Jeez.
off your hands.
Yeah, it was a pretty gnarly course, huh?
Yeah, but fun. Good job. Like, seriously, like, well done. Yeah.
Third place.
Yeah, for sure. What do we, what's the order of the here? I fell backwards on the
Top 3 photo here.
We'll have another little interview here momentarily. 3 incredible women. Congratulations to them. There's your top 3 female finishers for the 2025 Pan American Championship. Pretty good gap from 4th. We still haven't seen 4th place female come through, I don't think. There
Yeah,
was
that's what
quite
I'm
the
saying.
gap behind there.
Yeah, it was 10 minutes at Twister, which was still a good bits away from the finish line, so it might be 15 plus at this
I
point.
ran 2 years ago, but it was I don't feel good there. Too much allergy. I don't know what happened. It was something was present in the morning. So yeah. How about with you?
How was it, man?
Good to see ya.
Yeah, you too.
When we talk
You
in Utah.
yeah. Did you were you in third for like from the beginning, or did you pass Dustin at some point?
No, I ran behind the Dustin on course,
Yeah.
like maybe.
I'm gonna go get some protein and
Okay,
chips on.
take care. Like 2 miles before the finish.
Really?
Race. I know he ran the CrossFit, so he not will be full ready for the like half marathon. So before the speed, I have like 1 minute.
Yeah, pretty good gap on him. Yeah.
And he missed. I did the speed, so
Yeah, clean finish, man.
I first time I did speed. I miss national series every races. But today was the day.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How about you?
Good, man. It was a gnarly course. A lot of carries, a lot of, even for a flat course, it was not very gnarly.
Yeah. So
I had high grass.
my first 10K was like 39 minutes, something like this. Wow. I ran last year also here, so we ran the same course but different direction.
Yeah.
So, but it was fast, it was nice, and
Yeah.
But it was rainy last year.
Yeah.
Today, this year is much better. So.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Good job,
So
man.
Next up is the mammoth. Yeah.
Yeah. You going to race there?
Of course.
Awesome. Very cool. Awesome.
I don't like the location there, but I don't have.
Yeah, it's hard to get to. Cool mountain, but yeah, hard to get to.
Yeah, I like every mountain in California, but not there. Big Bear, Tahoe is for me. I feel every time great there. But in the Mammoth, I ran the last time 2 years ago. So I don't know what happened with me. This is the same elevation on the top in the California. It's nothing different. So I don't know what was the reason, but this year I know what I need fixed, and we will see.
Yeah, cool. Mr. Pan American Champion. You mind if I get a quick word with you?
Yeah, let's go. You want to keep it jogging?
Yeah.
Cool.
Where you headed?
I'm just warming down.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Keep the blood moving. Get my miles for the week. Yeah.
Nice. Dude, yeah, so you had a nice lead. I don't think Ethan was letting you take it. You know, he definitely pushed. You ever raced him before?
Nah, I've never seen him, but like Dustin said, hey, there's some other people in here. I was like, okay, I'll respect it.
Yeah.
I figured there was someone that was gonna give me a run for the money, but it's funny. I made the mistake. The first time I ever met Balin was I think 2 years ago at Colorado Springs. No idea who he was. I knew who Mark Gaudet was, and he was there.
Yeah.
So I'm running with Mark, and this kid just blasts, and I'm like, he's one of them. We'll catch him soon. 2 miles in, he didn't give it all. I'm like, shit. And he already had like a 12-minute lead. And he basically kept that.
Yeah.
Until the very end, I was like, fuck it, I'm letting go. So I'm like, okay, made that mistake. Be humble, don't do that again. So
yeah.
Ran with Ethan, and the whole race, I'm like, okay, once we got 2 miles in, I was like, as long as I wasn't stupid, I probably got it. But don't slack.
Right, you had a good, clean race.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. Shoulder was happy. That's, after dislocating it in 21 at the North American Championship, it's still there.
Yeah.
And so I have my cautions. You saw me at Olympus.
Yep.
Take an extra second. Don't even remember how to do that shit. So, but yeah, it went well. And yeah, had some really nice moments out there. Just grateful, and I was like, I'm strong, this is good.
Yeah,
Got
dude.
a little power down towards the end to make sure I had enough time to do burpees and keep that spear. Yeah, hope to race Ethan again. It's always fun when you race someone for the first time and you don't know each other's strategies.
Yeah.
Right, and racing style. So maybe next time he won't let me go like that, and I'll have to work a little bit harder.
I don't think we'll expect to see him at Super World Champs, but you'll be there, right?
Yeah, I asked him. He said he's not going to go, which is a shame. But yeah, hopefully Eugenio's there so I can race him again. Maybe some other people will come out. But yeah, I got second there at OCRWC. Woo!
Coming over.
Yeah. What's up, baby?
Oh, yeah.
Someone's on fire.
It sounded like it.
That's what he said. Oh, that performance was fire. Oh, appreciate it, man. Oh my God, dude, there's so many fires. Actually, I was going to go down to Mammoth. I am, but there's a pretty big fire down there right now.
Oh.
So we'll see how that gets controlled over the next few weeks. Yeah.
Right on, dude. I had to head back this way to go pick up some cameras anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep on going.
Yeah, man. Keep on jogging. Keep on jogging.
All right, dude. Anybody want to shout out before I turn this off?
Oh, man. So many people, my family, friends and loved ones. Rylan and you guys. Yeah. Just thankful for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, dude.
A lot of people. So thanks for being out here, man.
Awesome, dude.
All right, here we are, and we got a third. Yeah,
interview, post-race interview while running.
Yeah, right. Didn't get enough miles in. We got a third member of the team in the booth. It looks like
that's right. The OCR Doodle.
All right. Cool. Yeah, so we had a good race. Congratulations to our winners there. We should probably pull up the graphic with the times and talk about that. All right. So we got Ja Shua Ried in first, Ethan Paupst second, Tomasz Wawrzyniak in third, followed by Dustin Needham, then Daniel Elfers, Victor Marchuk, Josh Beckett, Braden Lenz, Jacob Pyburn, Ryan Shade.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Hell of a race. That was really great. That was fantastic. I wish we could have saw more of the 4th, 5th, 6th race for the women. The women's race seemed a little tighter. There's quite the gap in the men's race, but still really great. And it's great to see, especially at a championship, hey, some legends like Annie Dube and Rose Wetzle show up to race. That was really great.
Speaking of which, so we had Annie Dube and Rose Wetzle out here. Sandwiching them was Cassandra Gill in second. Then we had Jessie Byer, Allison Carlin Stewart, Chloe Melkian, Jen Groves, Nicole Bowman, Erin McShane, and Catherine Peterson.
Wow, it's quite the gap. Look, there's an hour gap from 1st to 10th.
Yeah, definitely a lot bigger than we were used to seeing for sure. Hopefully, we can see more people come out into the, rank up into the elites. You see your open times looking pretty good compared to your age group, and you start podium in age group. Come on, let's get up there. I want to see some more, some larger fields.
I don't know, man. There seems to be some very competitive people in the age group field that should probably be in the elite. Like sometimes you'll see times faster. Like that's not unheard of. People are like, hey, I think even then they're just very humble people, and they're like, I probably don't belong in the elite when they actually do. It's really cool to see that mix up there. But tons of competition, whether it's elite or age group. And now they're all going off together at the same time anyway. So.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. So we'll talk about our schedule coming up. So I believe the next race we'll be covering is the Super Championship in Mammoth Lakes, California. I know Josh and Tomasz were just talking about that one. It was the site of OCRWC for the last 2 years. So looking forward to getting back out to that mountain. Yeah, again, we need rabbits out there. So if you're going to be at that race, you definitely want to participate. Would love to have you. It's a fun time for sure. Get a good workout in as well. I mean, if you can, especially if you like to run. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing that one. And then the Canadian series will wrap up 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That'd be really cool. It was interesting that the Pan American Championships happened before the end of the Canadian National Series. I would have realistically liked to see Mexico, Canada, and United States finish up the National Series and then go into the Pan American Championships. But, there's a bunch of logistics and things that we don't normally think of that we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. They got to lease out that land. There's certain deals, the timing, the logistics of moving all the obstacles and the people and when those other races are happening. It'd actually be kind of cool to one day kind of see the behind the curtains and talk to the wizard and see exactly what the logic is behind maybe some of those decisions so we know for other races going forward. But, it was a great ride, beautiful venue, and a great time commentating.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. All right. We will, for now, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.